Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. This is your brother Asif Hussain here, aka Abu Musa. I'm in the car again, driving. Wanted to share a few thoughts with you. It's interesting when you're driving, you kind of have time to think about things, and hence maybe that's why I'm doing the vlogging right now, because I'm in the car and I have time to myself with no distractions. Only my thoughts in my head to express to those few viewers that decide to watch or listen to what I've got to say. So, what am I going to talk about today, you wonder? Yeah, well, I thought after yesterday's heavy discussion, I thought maybe do something a bit more light-hearted, something a bit more, not trivial, but a bit more goal-orientated in terms of training, fitness. I don't know. We can keep it very light-hearted, but thank you. I want to look at something very simple, like motivation and focus. We all talk about motivation and focus, but what is it that gives you that motivation and focus? What is it that keeps you consistently doing something where most people fail to be consistent? Many people I talk to, they can't maintain a routine, they can't maintain the discipline of doing something time and time again, which I find bizarre and odd, because maybe I am very disciplined and very regimented in the way I operate and work in my life, and for those of us that are like that, we find it odd for those that can't focus. So it makes me wonder sometimes and think that what is missing in these individuals. Look, I take it, let's just kind of strip it down to basics. When I look at things, I use the example of my deen, and deen is about repetition. Deen is about discipline. Deen is about focus. And the fact that you are obliged to pray 5 times in a day, that's without failure. You can't miss a salah and make an excuse to yourself and say, oh well, I got up late for Fajr, I can't pray. Even when you wake up late for Fajr, you still have to pray. As soon as you wake up, you should pray that salah. If you have no water to make wudu, does not mean you don't pray. You still do it. You do tayammum. You use dry earth, the sand or whatever, to make wudu with. So my point is that with these actions, we don't have a choice. We have to do them. Now, when you apply that mindset to any goal that you have in life, you know that the goal is achievable, because you're already on this course that you have to do this. You have your reason why you need to do this. So for me, why do I pray 5 times a day? Why do I do X, Y, and Z? To please Allah, because I am convinced that a day will come that I will meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I will be judged, and I will either go to Jannah or Jahannam based upon my actions. This is very clear to me. So that dictates to me what I do today and how I behave today, and when I need a reality check to remind myself of where I'm going. In the same way, I guess, when you look at your training objectives, your training goals, you have to ask yourself, why have you embarked on this journey? Why are you training? Why are you doing it for? Is it because you want to, lose weight, gain muscle, get stronger? You have a reason why you've initiated this process. So it's important that you crystallize that understanding of why. Why am I doing this? What's my purpose here? My purpose is to gain 10 pounds of muscle. My purpose is to increase my bench press. My purpose is to increase my squat. Whatever my purpose is, this is something that has to drive and be a motivation for what you're doing. This needs to be very clear to you. It needs to be clear as night and day. And when you have that clarity, it's a constant reminder. And when you're not working or functioning within that goal post, you suddenly see things change and waver. You know how people sometimes prescribe to routine, and some people are just kind of so flexible they don't really have any clear objective in mind. They have no focus in mind, so they wake up, they have no goals. This is not the nature of man. You know, we are not designed to walk through life without any purpose. You know, those people that have no purpose, you know, Allah guide them, you know, because they are lost, they're confused. And being a rational human being, we cannot be like that. You know, we have to use what Allah has given us, the faculty of thinking, the faculty of making decisions, the faculty of making the most of your time that you have, utilizing all of the resources that you have. It links back to my whole discussion of the point I'm trying to make, guys, is that look, if you have a goal and you're not achieving that, or you're not focused on that, then to me you need to go back to the very premise of why you started this, why you initiated this, what was the reason why you embarked on this. Because when you answer those questions, or you revisit those questions, that should make things very clear to you of where you're going, why you're doing this, what you're trying to achieve. You know, they don't. You know, here in the West, you always hear about the why. The why is so important, but for us as Muslims, the why is very important also. You know, we need to know. Every morning when I wake up, I need to have that purpose in my mind. Has to be very clear. Today, this is my objective. You know, I'm getting up. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to come home. I'm going to see my family. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to train. I'm going to work this muscle group. I'm going to lift this, and I'm going to, you know, eat this today. This is going to be my fuel for the day. All of these things have to be kind of structured and organized in a way for you to be able to, you know, get to that place where you need to go to. And if you don't have that kind of approach, then how are you going to get there? How can you get into a car and just sit behind the wheel and wonder where you're going? You get into the car and you have a destination in your mind, and you have a map which will tell you what roads to take. And in the same way, your life is very, very similar to that. And if you don't have that map, that blueprint, then to be honest with you, you have no sense of direction. And direction is critical for survival. You know, people depend on people who have, you know, these qualities and these skills, and if you don't have them, subhanAllah, you know, this is what differentiates one human being from another, and why some people excel and some people are stagnant. You know, I see some guys who make no progress, and to me, when you're asking these fundamental questions, they don't have the answers, or they give you some farcical kind of reply. And to me, when they're not making progress, I can generally understand why, because I only need to ask a few questions, and it becomes clear to me and evident to me why you're not progressing, why you're not changing, why you're not improving. So take a very logical approach, very rational approach to everything that you do, and this includes the way you train, your attitude towards your training, your attitude towards the gym, the attitude towards yourself. If you want to progress, you have to have the right mindset. You can't go through life with your eyes closed, you know, just hoping and thinking that things are just going to happen to you. You know, you're going to have a eureka moment. You have to plan, you have to organize, you have to execute. This is the way, you know, you make progress. You excel. And you know, it's interesting when you think about it, because you look at this society, and a lot of times people, they just float through life. They have no sense of direction, and subhanAllah, it's a big epidemic amongst the youth. But those youth that are very tuned, very switched on, you see fire coming out of them, because they're flying. they're on another level, and you can see that they have these ideas ingrained in their mind, where they've grasped it, or the penny's dropped in their head. Something has clicked in them that's made them understand how they need to move and which direction they need to move. I mean, unfortunately for me, it came a bit later in life. I wasn't that smart and sharp that I can say that, in my early days, I had everything in my mind set of what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, and how I was going to get there. It came a lot later. But I think once you understand that, it's how you embed that in your life. And as much as you can advise people and tell them, the famous saying, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So I can give you a blueprint, but I can't make you follow it. There's something that you have to kind of find within yourself. So you have to understand why are you doing this? What do you want to achieve? How are you going to achieve it? What sacrifice are you going to make? Because if you think things are going to happen with a little amount of effort and a little amount of sacrifice, then it's not going to be. You're going to get the minimum result. So remember, sacrifice is key. Get into certain habits, get into good habits. Start thinking, start utilizing what you have. Think about your next meal, think about your next workout, think about the next goal that you have. Think about, once you've achieved one goal, what's the new goal you want to set yourself? Think about things that you can eat, that you enjoy, that are sustainable for you, that you won't get put off by, that you'll do it for a week and then think, forget this, I can't do this anymore. Look at the journey in the long sense, not just today and tomorrow, but look at it in the longevity. What can I do today that I can maintain and sustain, that I can do this 10, 20, 30 years into my life, and I'm still doing it, and I'm still evolving and developing? Because that's the key thing. A lot of guys, they've got, back in the days when I was training, it was very black and white for me, very bland for me, and very boring for me. But I was that disciplined, that hungry, that I could do that. But as my life's changed, things have kind of evolved. I got married, had kids, etc., etc., etc. Life brought its own issues and problems. I had to kind of adapt with it and survive. And it's not the case that, my circumstances have changed, I can't do this anymore, I've got to find something else. No, you can do it. You can do it, but you've got to work differently. You've got to operate on a different level. When you're, young, it's very different. You have different parameters, you have different responsibilities, and you function on a different remit. As you mature, life changes, things happen, you start operating on a different level, and it's just about juggling things more effectively. You can become a good organizer, you can achieve what you need to achieve, you can take care of business, and you can take care of pleasure as well, as they say. So never kind of look at things and look at them in a kind of despairing way, that you feel that you're hopeless, you can't do this, you can't do that. That attitude should not exist in you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as a Muslim, hope and positivity is part of the makeup of the Muslim. We don't function in this mindset that we have a negative mindset. We don't, because even if something good or bad happens to us, we should take the positives from that situation and not the negatives. This is not the fitrah, the makeup of the Muslim. So you need to ingrain this kind of concept in your head, make it part of your whole kind of being, so you can excel, you can push yourself, force yourself out of situations through kind of sheer will and drive and determination. And these kind of characteristics, they don't come overnight, they don't happen unless you've been challenged and you've been put in circumstances and situations. So bear that in mind as well, inshallah. Hope that's helped, guys. Signing out, your brother Asif. Assalamu alaikum.